Hey, this is Ruby. This is a short introduction to my kit RMK Radial. We find this here under this button. The first thing we need to click on this extract icons button and extract the icons. This takes a while. It extracts all buttons that are associated with the Modo installation and commands and tools and icon resources and a lot of other icons, I think, that are just maybe random in your kit's folders or in your own script folders. So this is a location where they extracted. It basically is your user folder, kits, Radial, extracted icons. They're all in there. Then we need to click on this here, Ruby Miller Radial, and this is actually the menu. On the left side for the Radial and the grid menus. On the right side we have this preset button browser, a default, a placeholder, then boolean, draw, more booleans buttons, some model basic buttons, modes from the top bar here, primitives like these ones here, Primo action centers, Primo tools, my own buttons, transform, utility, and workplane. It has some preset radio menus here, like for more boolean. I think also grid menu, yeah. Let me just shortly delete these here. No. Yo. Primo radio. Also some grid buttons in there. On my own menu. Yeah. When we choose a menu, we just have to select this here and give it a hotkey. I give it E most of the time. And we copy the hotkey, go to Input Editor, search for E, and just overwrite this. So just make sure that you do not have a hotkey that is blocking it. And nice, so this is then our Ruby menu Radial. E opens it, E closes it. On Alt it switches to the Radial buttons here. The Radial basically works for mouse and for a tablet. So this means nothing is clicked. It will highlight the closest buttons. We can activate them with the left mouse click, but we can also just press spacebar even when the mouse is not really over it, or enter to activate. We can also open this, make a left click and just drag. And it will work. The Ruby menu has here two additional tools like Wingman cut and freeze. It just makes some boolean cuts over the surface of an item, shift for new cuts, and drop, and select, and cut. Works good in Modo 16, 17, it's squishy. And then we have freeze and delete, and this just freezes mesh ops, deleted drivers, and makes a base clean. So a mesh cleanup, and it's fine. And we have just normal mesh here. Yeah, basically that's it. So let's create a new menu. We just give a new name. New menu, and press create menu. Blah blah blah. And we have a new menu. So we choose a new hotkey for this. Right at the start. Input editor, E, place this here. Zack. And we have here the empty menu. Nothing on Alt because we have no grid menu at the moment. And we can just choose some buttons here to drag them over to create our first menu, like here. Draw cube, add cube, draw cylinder. And that's it. This is our first menu. We can rearrange stuff here if you want to. No. Yeah, something like this. So cylinder on top, cubes on bottom. We can also add other buttons here from the Modo forums. Basically each that we find. Yeah, maybe something like here. Form editor, find form. Just click on something here, symmetrize for example. Symmetrized, we'll set this, and we just hit add buttons. Boom. And it's fine. Okay, we have no name here. We have a few options here. Rename, change icon, change command, duplicate, delete, set type, save as preset. So we name this symmetrize. Good. Set type basically, yeah, only placeholder is interesting. If you want to set a new placeholder, you can duplicate this, set it as placeholder, or we can just drag one here from the presets and have a new placeholder. Works. What is maybe clone? Supported are always only the normal commands here with this green line and the dot. Clone probably will not work. Most buttons are supported. They find it finds automatically the correct icons, but not for all. Not for this one. So let's add this. Zack, boom. Here we have clone. Basically, it's little star point clone. We can load the icons that we extracted here from this folder here. It's 13 by 13, 20 by 20, 32 by 32, etc. 32 by 32 are the normal icons. And we have a huge list of icons, so search clone. Clone, edge clone, polyclone, all the same icons. Drag this over, and this is good. Fine. Back to presets. We can just drag this over here to default, for example, but we can also drag this over to Boolean drill. This really doesn't matter. When we drag this over, it becomes a preset, but we can also right click and save as preset, and it lands in default. If we want to have this anywhere else, we just drag it over, or we do I think Control Shift. Nope, not Control Shift. Shift drag, and we duplicate this. And we can delete this, and we can also edit the preset here with name, type, command, change the icons and stuff. Yeah, we can also add a grid menu, for example. What else is here? Edit, yeah, maybe edge slice. Has no label. I give it a label and edit to the grid. Added one new button, one new icon. Fine. Pan, loop, and primitive slice. Fine. Let's add this also to this. What was that? This is loop slice. Rename loop slice. I think we have here actually primitive slice in there. Yeah, on buttons. but doesn't matter. E, Alt, switches between the modes. Rearrange, it looks like this. What else? Back to the radial, I would say we can set a new menu. Nested menu, create a menu, and I think I just add here some of the top bar. Convert to edges, convert to polygons, convert to vertices. Go away. Should be show this path. Where's edge? Where's edge? Edge. Okay, edges, vertices, polygons. Placeholder here, and we give it the same hotkey, and we go to our new menu. Okay, this doesn't update automatically. It's not so bad. New menu, and just duplicate this button here. Rename modes or something. Change the command, and we give it a different icon. Maybe like this, and we have a nested menu. And on right click we can drag this around, and we change the modes here, or something like this. Good. Save and load settings. Just save this the colors here as presets, so we can change, for example, main ring. This is the main ring. The inner disk is this here. The inner disk should always have something opacity bigger than 0 for tablets, and the border rings something like this, and it's automatically saved, and we can save this our own preset, and it looks like this. And when we load settings, we have your default. It's back to default. Probably one didn't work here, and right, and on preset. Yeah, and that's basically how it works. So radial menu, grid menu, nested menu. Radial settings, grid settings, yeah, you can change the form. For example, 24 becomes a little bit bigger, easier to read. Tweak main ring size. We can make the ring bigger or smaller, or we can tweak the radius if you want. Double click is always back defaults button size. If we use icons that are bigger than the default size, then they will scale also, like here we have bigger icons, and the icon will scale up. But of course this is a little bit smaller menu, but if you place a button here with a bigger icon, and then the icons will scale. UT grid columns. So for the grid we have here 2 columns. We can set this to 1. Grid padding is basically, it finds here the auto width, and we can just adapt this a little bit. If it's too big, if it's too wide, or not, something like this. Yeah, grid font size, same as this. So good. I think that's it. Ciao.